Austin, Texas, a city of live music, food trucks, tattoos, and an altogether wonderful weirdness. A truly colorful, artistic city that thrives with hopeful youths and complacent adults. Most dream of visiting, and many return to this carefree land for good. But what does one do when they grow weary of the town in which they live? Yes, even a place like Austin. It happens often to those who yearn to explore, discover, and simply move on. One might take a short trip to quench the insatiable thirst of the wanderlust curse. Hey, maybe even a couple. But, as is always the way, the inevitable return to reality and, let's face it, the depletion of funds drags you back to your hopefully temporary home. Once you've returned, that feeling of being trapped in an unlocked cage sets in. Today, that feeling is upon me. When I find myself in this mood, revisiting a childhood friend seems to be the only cure. He is one who has nurtured my love and passion for travel from the very beginning. Mr. Anthony Bourdain. If I'm momentarily stuck, I can at least always rely on him to show me the next most interesting corner of this earth. And yet, today another blow hits the world hard. Mr. Bourdain is gone. After the shock of this tragedy sets in, the only thing I can think of is to pay tribute to him in some way. So, I'm ordering some somewhat exotic food and marathoning his adventures. Today we explore the Mediterranean. Dinner includes falafels, pita bread with hummus, a dip trio, spicy lamb meatballs, turkey mushroom meatballs, and grilled steak with quinoa and rice. And, because we're in America and everything must be dumbed down for our taste buds, brownies for dessert. Hey, we tried for baklava, but what are you gonna do? All in all, a delicious meal. Tonight, my brother Nathan joins me in this remembrance.
This looks really good.
Yeah, it does. All right, and this is the first time you've ever tried this stuff, right?
Yeah, I've not really had. It was Mediterranean food, right?
Mediterranean, yeah. And I mean,
Wow.
Sadly, who knows if it's Americanized or whatnot? Probably.
Oh, it
I'm
is.
sure it is.
I mean, this doesn't look super Americanized.
No.
I know that dessert does over there.
But so these have 3 dipping sauces and all that stuff.
Oh, cool.
So.
Yeah, just start
Yeah?
serving.
Okay.
I guess so.
I was super emotional yesterday.
You were crying like a baby, I know, and I mean, it was a tearful thing, and even I was a bit over it.
And you know, were you really?
Yeah. I'm an emotional guy.
It's
I
just
tear up a lot easily.
It's so sad because he was only 61. Oh, he was only 61. Can you imagine that? He seemed really happy, and everybody who was around him said that he seemed happy.
I think the thing about, well, the depression, there's different kinds, and there's a kind that just comes and goes on you, like almost like a bipolar kind of a thing, you know?
That's true.
That's very good. I don't know what is what here, but very good.
The meatballs are delicious. So I think in this episode he's in Greece.
Oh, right now? Oh, cool.
Yeah. So awesome of each other.
Antigone, Helen of Troy, Aphrodite, Demeter. Greek women have always been known for their beauty, their fierceness, their strength, their willingness to fight for what they believe in. And these ladies, who call themselves the stray bitches, these women are very much part of that tradition. When I mentioned that I was drinking Ouzo before, I kind of there was a reaction. Okay, so I'll be drinking Rocky on the rocks. Bravo. The stray bitches. Who are the stray bitches? Us. What are?
It's a theatrical musical group with political. Wow. With political.
What do you think?
I love lamb. You know I love lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
I didn't realize that No Reservations started in 2005.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been watching this man since I was a kid.
Well, No Reservations started in 2005?
Yeah, he did have another show called Cooking. It was a chef's tour or something like that. And I don't even remember that show, but maybe that's the show that I was watching before No Reservations.
Well, 2005 was 10, 11, 12, 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But like in my mind, I was watching him when I was 11, and you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I know I was constantly watching travel shows and.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But he's so real, you know.
Mm.
And he really gets in there with the native people, and
He doesn't seem afraid to go anywhere.
mm-mm.
Yeah. And
Sometimes he's afraid to do things like the bullfights in Spain.
well, he got out there though. He did get out there for a bit.
This food is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that he was open about his past, you know.
Yeah.
And he says what we're all thinking.
He does.
They're eating what we are eating.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right. So we're not only lamb, steak. This is lamb, this is pork, and this is pork. And the famous potatoes, of course.
He goes to places where, you know, he talks to people who are on opposing sides of things.
Yeah.
And but I really like that he shows how human everybody is and how there are some really nice people even in those really unpleasant looking places in terms of like political climate and everything.
Yeah, and he really showed that. I mean, and it's true. Like, food does bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
Food is food, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody, from what as far as I know, people like exploring other cultures and their food and stuff if they're not willing to explore their customs or things like that. You know what I mean? Food is always
Something that
a great entry into that. And these episodes where he's showing like the different, like the episode where he where did he go in that one episode?
where he was
I mean, he does it many times, but yeah, he was in
The
Jerusalem.
whole area.
Mm-hmm. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So you tried the Mediterranean wine and you didn't like it.
I tried the wine. This is Mediterranean wine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't like it in particular, so much as I don't drink alcohol.
Right.
But I don't like alcohols, the burning and all that, and so I did go for a Mexican Coke.
And I don't drink alcohol anymore usually either, but this was a special occasion and I really wanted to.
I'm sure this is the way you can find Cokes over in
The Mediterranean?
In the Mediterranean,
maybe,
probably.
Yeah. Look at the beaches. They're gorgeous. It looks like such a beautiful area.
Yeah.
And we need to go there since, you know, our mom has ancestry there.
Yeah, that's true.
In Greece. I think it's just a little bit, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, we have a little bit of almost everything.
Yeah, it's insane.
So, we need to go see a lot of places.
So, I know that like shows like this, like I've always loved traveling. Love traveling. When I was a little girl, we would do these, you remember those library contests, right? So those library contests, where we would just read as many books as we could during the summertime. And I would constantly be reading the travel books.
I remember those books, yeah.
And they were like these little 1980s travel books for children. I loved those books. And so I naturally grew up just watching, I mean, obviously I watched Turner Classic Movies and stuff, but I also watched a lot of the Travel Channel. And funnily enough, home improvement shows as well.
Yeah, I used to watch those too. There were some that were, I don't know, oddly popular.
But I really latched on to Anthony Bourdain, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that what kicked off your travel bug?
I don't know. I mean, what constitutes the travel bug? Is it like having the bug prior to having the ability to travel, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I always had the bug.
That's true. And
But maybe I think he instilled in a lot of people the courage to go, you know?
Yeah. Just by showing, you know, how possible it is and how
nice most of the people are.
Yeah. All the good stuff, you know? And he shows the bad stuff, but focuses on the good stuff. It's what you have to do.
Exactly.
So we've been, like, you've been planning a lot of trips for us, so we've been taking a lot of trips in the past, what, 7 years or 6 years or so?
Mainly since Dad passed away.
Yeah, which is so sad because our dad always wanted to do a lot of this traveling and stuff.
He loved traveling.
And he wanted to see all these other countries, which we still need to start doing because we've mostly been traveling to other states. And that's been amazing. And we have more of that to do.
Yeah, we actually haven't ventured out into the other countries yet. We've just been exploring the U.S. And
there are places we want to go back to already.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course we've been to England and London. Gosh, that place. I fell in love with England and London so early on. It's beautiful.
We gotta go back there. And I mean, we have a lot of that in our heritage.
Oh yeah.
Now,
you especially.
Yeah. But it's the same heritage, but I just got more of it in my DNA.
And I really want to get to Ireland. Because that's my top DNA category. Ooh. You see? I love how they show the religious traditions also, you know? Especially with we had put on No Reservations, and I hadn't, you know how I hadn't seen that show in years.
Yeah.
I think I had been more recently watching Parts Unknown, and they're very CNN-ish about everything, you know.
Right.
Extremely good show. But No Reservations seemed a little more quirky, and I really want to watch a little bit of that today.
Yeah. That's true.
Like there's that Christmas episode with...
Oh, the Christmas episode is bizarre.
We have to watch that.
So funny though. A really good sense of humor, you know.
Oh yeah, he had such a good sense of humor. And he didn't take himself too seriously, you know.
Yeah. Wow. So we got like a dessert there, don't we?
We do, but I think it's like an Americanized
What is this?
version. It's the...
So we were looking for like, what kind of dessert were we looking for?
I ordered the baklava
Baklava.
blondie brownie because that's the only other thing they had. But they give us the tahini brownie, so I'm assuming it's just a brownie.
And either way, I'm not sure that they have brownies over there normally.
I don't know.
Maybe, but we have had baklava before
Actually, quite regularly.
from
Our aunt
our aunt and uncle, yeah.
and uncle.
And it is quite good. Let's try this tahini brownie.
It's nicely wrapped. So we got all this from Noon Mediterranean.
Oh yeah.
Had I felt better today, I might have cooked a little bit, but was not feeling it.
Yeah, you have also experimented a lot with cooking food from around the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And from the history of you know just
I
everywhere.
love especially with the history part. you
Yeah,
know?
I know you've done even like American history, like colonial food and
Oh
everything.
yeah, I love doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's try this.
Very chocolatey looking, which I like. I hope that's chocolate. Chocolatey?
Oh, it's really good.
I don't know how Greek this is. It's very much like a good fudgy brownie.
Yeah.
Although it does have little seeds in it instead of nuts. So, how would you say, you know, all this, like Anthony Bourdain, definitely part of what really pushed you to start traveling, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
And you definitely have, you know, pushed us with that, and that's been awesome. How would you say it's like really like broadened your life, or like
Oh yeah,
opened
definitely.
your eyes? And
I mean, the more you go and the more you experience, it makes you see more of what the world has to offer, which is really kind of comforting to know that you don't, there's not just like, because you know, sometimes I say to you, sometimes I'll get in a, I wouldn't say,
existential crisis.
yeah, sometimes I'll just get really
Just down on the world.
thinking that like everything is the same, and it's not. I mean, it is overall, but
you get bored.
I do get bored
sometimes.
very easily. I get bored very easily, and I think that I think I'm meant to like travel a lot. You know what I mean? But you know, when you don't have the means, then you can't. So, but I save up, and then we go on these trips, and we discover new things, and and then I feel wonderful, and then I get back in a in a funk. But
yeah, you see things that are just beautiful things, and that you didn't know that you needed to see until you've seen them, and then you're like, not only did I need to see this, I need to come back here.
Yeah. It makes your soul feel better, you know.
Yeah, it's just you get bored with where you're at. I mean, even Anthony Bourdain was saying, you know, he wanted to get as far as he could from where he was born.
New York, which is really funny because everybody wants to go to New York. Yeah, and he was born in New York, and he wanted to get away as fast as he could.
That was one of the first places we traveled to, and it was it's a neat thing to see, you know.
Yeah. And you really learn about yourself too, because you can look at these places and be like, I love this place, it's beautiful, but I wouldn't, or this place is very exciting, but I could never live here. Like,
yeah, and then another place you'll be like,
I could totally live here.
I want to live here, and
like for instance, Manhattan. It's so exciting and so fun, but I can only take so much of that. You know what I mean? Whereas upstate New York or New England or
Seattle, or
you know, like those kinds of places I could absolutely live in, you know.
Or even I mean, like we just got back from Lake Tahoe over there in Reno, and I mean, what do you think about that? Would you have wanted to live there, or I mean, would you consider living there someday?
I could definitely live there
on the lake.
Oh yeah. Not in the Reno, or not in not further away from the lake, because further away from the lake is just not...
Very different.
It's very deserty and it reminds me of Texas a lot.
And I like, you know, I've been in Texas so long, I like Texas.
Do you?
I mean, I love Texas to a certain degree. But I'm also ready to live somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, which is fine, because a lot of people come here, you know, and that's great, just swapping around.
And that could sometimes be the curse of traveling. That could be a curse, you know.
Yeah, and sometimes I think I get that from Anthony Bourdain, because he goes to a lot of places and seems to be like talking about how much he envies whoever lives here and there he's talked to. He would like to live there.
Yeah.
And I'm not one who wants to be uprooting every year or every. I mean, I've seen some people, like there are people that I follow on Instagram who just every week they're on a different plane, and I love to do travel, but I also like to have a home base.
Yeah.
And I like to enjoy it for long periods of time too. Right. You know.
I think a long period of time for me is like a week, to be honest.
See, for me, it'll be like more like a month.
That's good, yeah.
A month at home
goes by quickly.
It does. A month at home, take a trip, you know.
Right.
Of course, you know, to take a trip like every other month would be. You'd have to be set up to do that.
Definitely.
Even so, it's not even something to worry about really, but we take a few trips a year.
We do.
And it's good. It's good.
I think it's healthy for you. You get out of your own head. And
yeah. And of course, to see other cultures and other places.
See other cultures and understand other people and not be so closed-minded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm getting emotional.
And you talk about like people who have a lot of hate in their heart for other people. Right. And you know, a lot of them, it seems like they don't leave their area very much either.
Oh yeah, totally.
And get to know other people.
It's amazing how similar people are across the board. I mean, they may have these other cultures and these other ways of like, you know, presenting themselves and stuff, but yeah, deep down, it's all the same.
I think that's what he shows with all the food.
Yeah, totally.
Is how much everybody loves good food, you know?
Yeah.
This was really good food.
This was a Greek, your first try.
I will never love alcohol. I don't like alcohol, but this is a Greek Mediterranean beer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll always be going back to the Coca-Cola probably. But yeah.
Yeah, now that I've stopped drinking, I don't, yeah.
Not really craving it?
No.
That's good, because a lot of people, when they stop, they still want it. But and I've got nothing against it, I just don't like the taste at all. My problem is I really love this chocolate.
You're a chocolate addict.
I love sugar and chocolate.
I think most people are.
He's so cool.
He is so cool. He's so absolutely
you know,
cool.
the most interesting man in the world commercial.
Yeah, that is him. That is absolutely him. And I've read that if you said that stuff about him, he would be like, stop it, you know what I mean? But I mean, he seems really humble and really cool, and it's just really sad. We definitely lost a good one.
Yeah.
A great one. He inspired a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see the community online is just really, everybody's distraught about it. Especially with the way that he went, you know?
Yeah. It reminded me of Robin Williams because, you know, that put me in really bad. He was such a hero of mine too, you know. You
know, I loved Robin Williams so much, but for some reason it didn't affect me as much as this one.
It hit me really hard because I was, you know, a child when he was really putting out stuff like and it wasn't all hits, but like his Popeye movie was like one of my favorite movies ever. And you know, Mork and Mindy, I was a very small child, but I loved it. So when he passed away, it was really hard for me, and it's so similar. It's amazing how similar some of these deaths have been, you know, lately, and strange.
And people were saying, like, assuming it was the depression, he did commit suicide. It's like he was apparently very happy currently because he had his girlfriend, and they seemed to be very happy together. And he had his daughter.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that it can just hit you. And at times you can pull yourself out of it, and then like that one time you aren't able to pull yourself out of it, you know?
Yeah.
But
My rented villa is pleasant enough. But to be perfectly honest, lonely. Is it worse to be someplace awful when you're by yourself? Or someplace really nice that you can't share with anyone?
And it is very typical Greek sunset. The famous Greek sunset. The islands, like the Cyclades, the boat. Wow!
That looks good.
Looks very good.
Oh man, that is really good.
The good food makes you happy, very happy.
Yeah.
Opens your heart.
There are a lot of countries where they're really, really poor, but they're super serious about food.
Like where?
Like here.
He really, Anthony Bourdain really reminds me of like, and my friend even said it at work the other day. He reminds me of the kind of entertainer that I am, as far as like being very, very introverted, but also extroverted. It's very
the
very
introverted extrovert, which both you and I are.
But yeah.
And he seems like he might be a little more extroverted, but I don't know. I don't know how he meets so many different people, but I guess that's just. I mean, he's the New York version.
I think you're
you tend to meet more people.
Yeah, you're a little less into meet, or it's harder for you to meet people, right?
Yeah.
I can totally meet people like this. You know what I mean? But it's
But I can meet people the way he's showing, but it's when you don't know what you're going to be talking about or anything.
Right.
I'm not good at that. And I'm terrified of telephones and things like that. But I'm very extroverted when I know people. I still don't want to talk on the telephone, but I'm very extroverted.
Telephone's a totally different thing. I hate the telephone too.
If you get to know me, I become totally extrovert.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why it's introverted extrovert.
Yeah.
And most people in the media, they say, or at least a lot of them are that way.
Which is really reassuring.
At least a lot of the performers, the actors and things like this, artists types. He's very much an artist, as a chef and a writer.
He absolutely is.
An amazing writer.
He's so good. I love his writing.
Who was he saying was his hero the other day?
Oh, I forget. You mean yesterday?
The writer of, we were watching some of his show yesterday. There was the writer of Naked Lunch, was it Burroughs?
I think so.
William Burroughs. He's got all this info in his head that I don't even know how he does it with the shows, because people are explaining to him what the foods are, and he comes back and like has all this narration about it that he must.
Well, he goes back and like sits down and narrates. You know, I'm pretty sure.
No, I mean, but he had to have like collected that information just from the interaction. I think. I don't think he went back and like took notes and.
Yeah.
But maybe he did. I don't know. I feel like he just picks things up. Like
he might be able to. He might have been able to. It's so sad that talking about him in the past tense.
I know, and it's so strange. He was not an old man. He was. How old was he? 61. That is not old anymore.
And I thought, and I have said it a million times already, but I thought he was going to be like so old, still doing this. Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe he could have been. That's what's so sad, is that it wasn't, it's not a natural death, so.
Right.
It could have been not many more years with him. But, I mean, you don't know what happens to a person and that they, do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope he's at peace now.
Yeah.
So we should do a toast to Anthony Bourdain. He was a fantastic guy, as far as we could see on the television, but I hear that he's amazing as well in person. And
yeah.
He was awesome.
And as the night winds down, we reflect on the man himself once more. He seemed like such a genuinely cool person. I would have loved to have sat down with him and chatted about life. I know he struggled severely with depression, but to me, he was at the forefront of those who try to enjoy and embrace all the wonderful hidden nirvanas that this increasingly chaotic and frightening world has left. He was never afraid to share those terrifying truths about our world either. I always saw him as this 101-year-old man still traveling and exploring the world. I hope he's now at peace. He will be greatly missed. Mr. Bourdain, we salute you. See you on the next big adventure.